Global politics these days is starting to look like a wrestling match. You've got Donald Trump in one corner putting India in a lock through tariffs, and guess who's stepping into the ring? Nigeria, of course. So, under Trump's administration, the US has taken a much harder stance on trade, and India has been feeling the burn. So, just recently, the US President Donald Trump came down hard on India, doubling tariffs from 25% to 50% on certain Indian exports. That's crazy. You see, his message was blunt: stop fueling Putin's war in Ukraine. Now, here's the bigger picture. Since the war began, India had been one of the few major buyers of cheap Russian oil, importing over $65 billion worth in 2024, compared to just over $8 billion in 2021. That's nearly an eightfold increase in just 3 years. Meanwhile, Europe and the US cut their imports of Russian oil by more than 80%. So, with all this pressure from the US, India is now forced to diversify. And Africa is one of the biggest beneficiaries that India's state refineries are then turning to. They're now turning to Nigeria in a way that they have never before. More than 2 million barrels of Nigerian oil are projected to arrive in India between September and October 2025. So, this is not just a small shift, right? It's a direct result of pressure from the United States on India to cut back its oil imports from Russia. What we are seeing unfold is more than just an oil trade. This is a glimpse into the shifting power lines of global energy, where Africa, long seen as a pawn, is starting to move like a queen on the chessboard, and we love to see it. It's quite interesting to see how India is engaging in a buying frenzy right now because of what's going on. So just check this, right? The Indian Oil Corporation recently bought 1 million barrels of Nigerian crude for September delivery, right? And then on the other hand, there is another organization, Bharat Petroleum, which is India's second largest state refiner. They're also buying. So they're also making spot purchases and negotiating more deliveries. They're buying Angolan oil, US oil, Abu Dhabi oil, and also 2 million barrels of Nigerian crude. And they're doing this because Nigerian crude has exactly what Indian refineries want: low sulfur content that's perfect for producing gasoline and diesel for both domestic use and export. This is not just about oil chemistry. It's about market leverage. Think about it. For decades, the Asian oil market has been dominated by Middle Eastern suppliers. Now, African producers like Nigeria and Angola are becoming essential players in the mix, which is absolutely amazing. But here's where it gets complicated, and yes, a little ironic, right? Even as Nigeria is shipping millions of barrels to India, our own Dangote refinery, the largest in Africa, is importing crude from the United States. How ironic. Why? That's the question. Why? Because oil isn't just about geography. It's about pricing, refinery specifications, and global trade dynamics. Sometimes the economics make foreign crude cheaper or more convenient for a particular refinery's configuration. So it's very ironic, but there's a science to it. But that irony is also a reminder: until Africa fully aligns its production, refining, and trade policies to actually serve African interests first, we'll always be exporting power and importing dependency. Unfortunately, here's why this moment matters for the African and Black diaspora. What we're witnessing is a world where supply chains are actually shifting. That's a huge deal. Not only that, political alliances are recalibrating and old monopolies are breaking. We're seeing that in the news each day. Africa must step into that space, not just as a raw materials hub, but has a global power in the mix of things, with control over its resources from the ground to the gas pump, all throughout the supply chain, right? The fact that India is looking to Nigeria actually shows that we have what the world needs. And it's so clear. The question is, can we organize ourselves to make sure Africa and Africans actually benefit first before anyone else? We need policies that ensure deals like these deals that we're talking about, strengthening our infrastructure, our economies, and our energy independence, right? And to our brothers and our sisters across the diaspora, you see, this is your reminder that Africa's resources are still the foundation of global wealth. It's very clear. But this generation, our generation, has the chance to actually make sure that Africa is no longer just the world supplier, but it's also a huge decision maker. And the oil flowing from Nigeria to India is more than a trade transaction. It's a signal that Africa holds cards in the game of global energy politics. The real victory will be when we hold those cards, we set the rules, we make the deals that put Africa first. That's so simple. Africa first, the nation first. What are your thoughts about this? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. My name is Ify Igwe reporting from Nigeria's the African Diaspora News Channel. See you on the next story.